Alright y'all, welcome back to another episode of Retro ReWire. My name is JJ and today we are deep in the hunt. What I'm talking about is retro game hunting, and today we're going to visit a hard off in northern Saitama in a town called Kumagaya. Now Kumagaya is about 2 hours from Tokyo, and I recommend going by either car or train because there are a number of hard offs along the way. You know, definitely don't go walking. But anyhow, you can easily turn that trip into a full day trip, possibly two if you're that hardcore. And Kumagaya's hard off was pretty interesting, so I'm looking forward to sharing the footage. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out hard off in Kumagaya. So here we are outside of the hard off in Kumagaya, Saitama. Super north, not too far from Gunma Prefecture as a matter of fact, but let's go ahead and go inside. And right away, here we are at a display case in the junk section, and you can see numerous PlayStation controllers there, and also tons and tons of handhelds of, from Sony and especially from Nintendo, just a bunch. And I was really tempted by that Game Boy Micro, 22 bucks. Now some of these do have issues, which is why they're in the junk section, but it's nothing that can't be repaired. Like the Game & Watch there, a little bit beat up, and that's usually the case with a lot of these handhelds. Is just like the physical condition. But then we have some interesting controllers like that Panasonic 3DO control pad in the box. Not something that you normally see, as well as this Game Boy connector where you could have up to four Game Boys connected, and then just numerous Nintendo handhelds, 3DS, DS, Game Boy Advance. In fact, look at this little pile of Game Boy Advance systems, and they were all in the vicinity of like 30 to 40 bucks, and I would like to mod one of those sometime. Then we have some interesting controllers, and then we'll take another look at the case here. Now the interesting thing about this hard off is it wasn't your normal hard off, and it's not because they had so many handheld systems. It's because they weren't actually playing the traditional hard off music. Actually, when I was searching, when I was browsing here, well, as a matter of fact, take a listen. This is the music, and you hear that it's all pop music, and it puts you in the mood. And in the mood to spend money. Look at all this glorious junk, all these handhelds in the junk bins. The Game Boy Color, the DS, and they actually have a Game Boy Advance, which was actually super tempting. And the cool thing is that you could actually test these systems. There is like a little section where you can test these things out. But let's go ahead and take a look at this Game Boy Advance. And 22 bucks more or less, and one of the reasons why is it's because it's missing the battery door. But these are widely available on the internet. I mean, Amazon Japan has them for about 6 bucks, so that ain't no thing. And then also more controllers in the junk bins. Just so many controllers, and not just PlayStation. A lot of Super Famicom and Famicom controllers, and also cables. And look at this Sega Saturn light gun. $13 more or less, and that's definitely criminal. That should be about $1. But I do like to taking a look at the cables, because I'm always after short cables just to kind of improve my game room's cable management. I definitely don't like long cables. But yeah, all sorts of interesting stuff. And here we have more controllers and cables galore. But let's go ahead and take a look at the junk consoles. And as you can see here, most of these consoles are working. They're just heavily discolored, maybe a little bit of damage, but they all include cables, controllers, and because they are in the junk section, even if they weren't, you can test them out. And this thing is interesting here, safe and convenient storage for your Super Famicom. You can take it wherever, whenever. And they actually had two. And this one here was 33 bucks, and it actually included a Super Famicom and all the cables and controllers. And then as you can see, more Nintendo goodness. We got the Cube, we got the Super Famicom, we got Wii's. The Wii's were about $16.50, and there was even one that included the box, though it may have been missing a few things. I didn't actually take a look at the tag in super detail. And then we have clone systems, and then here at the end, some gun cons, which were also way overpriced. I mean, $22 for the gun con 2? No way. And then we have some Donkey Kong Kongas for the Jungle Beat game, which I've never actually played, but $5, $5.50. And then look at all these arcade sticks. And I bet you these worked. In fact, there was a really nice one here. This Sega Saturn by, I believe it's pronounced ASSI. Now, this came with a limited edition card. And I actually have this. And it has a different card than what mine included. And then we have some games on laser discs. We have this Starblade. Well, this isn't actually a game. It's just like a playthrough of the game on Laserdisc. But anyhow, this is the junk section. And I'll do a little comb over here again. Decent junk section. Some stuff was a little bit overpriced. But yeah, kind of an interesting way to start things off, especially with that pop music playing in the back. Definitely puts you in the mood to spend that money. But anyhow, let's go ahead and go into the main game aisle. And here we have an end cap with boxed Super Famicom games. And one thing that I like to do is most of these hard offs always have Donkey Kong in stock, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. And 1,000 yen, normally it's half that, so this one was a little bit more of expensive at this particular hard off. But feel free to pause so you can kind of get a closer look at some of the games that they had. Pretty interesting selection. This Mystic art has pretty cool cover art. Never heard of it before, but looks like it was some kind of role-playing game. And then we have Starbucks for $8. Usually you can find this for $5. Then as you can see here, we have Aladdin. This is a pretty good game. Some people prefer the Genesis version. Some people prefer the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo version. I'm more partial to the Super Nintendo version just because of nostalgia. And look at these Kirby's all angry. Come on, Kirby, lighten up, man. And then we have some boxed Famicom games. And this, and then we had the lone Game Boy Advance Kirby game. But yeah, kind of an interesting cover, this Mickey Mouse game with Alice. We have more display cases in the game aisle. Look at this Lupin the Third. Super cool cover from, it's a Castle of Cagliostro, awesome movie. But they had a ton of Super Famicom games. In fact, they had 4 cases in the game aisle, and I think the majority of them have housed Famicom games. And the Famicom is not a system that I'm too familiar with or even collect for, but if you're into that, this is the place to come. And numerous 64 games as well. That Biohazard 2 was definitely of note. And we have some Super Famicom games. That Street Fighter Alpha 2 for $20. Kind of an interesting game. Then we have, I believe, Mega Man and Bass up there, which I actually found for $1 at a game shop in Tokyo. Look at that, Biohazard 2, $33. Definitely want to play that game sometime. But here we go, loose handheld games, and again, feel free to pause so you can kind of get a closer look at what they have. And I actually don't mind buying loose cards for like the DS, 3DS, Game Boy Advance. And then here we have like the Famicom Mini releases on the Advance. I'm actually looking for the Makaimura and the Castlevania releases of that. Definitely want to have that in my collection. But then here we have Metroid 2. And one day I'm going to play this game. And that's not a bad price, $10. Usually most places have it for $20. And then you guessed it, more Famicom games. Super Mario Bros. 3, $10, not bad. Some of these other games I have no idea what they are, but I do know that one on the right, Goemon Mystical Ninja for $10 before he was known as Mystical Ninja. Or Kid Ying, I think was his name. It's kind of a funny name. And we have Gradius 2. They had quite a bit of Konami games as well. And now we're gonna go into some Cube territory. Pretty interesting selection. And look at this, the Castlevania Adventure. Freaking awesome cover, pretty good condition, $50. Definitely want that, but $50, that's a little bit too much. And I actually have the loose cart. I think I paid like $1 for it. And PC Engine. They had a decent assortment of games for the PC Engine there. I like that. I like the cover there for the Ninja Warriors. Looks pretty cool. A lot of ninja games on the PC Engine system. And yeah, more Famicom games. Kind of an interesting selection of games here. And yeah, they all seem kind of, I don't know, a little bit pricey though. And then Makaimura. I was tempted by this game. Definitely love this series, $10, but nah, I'm gonna have to pass. And then here we have this Konami game. Now this is like a manga, and this character dude has a ton of games, but I don't know too much about that series. And yeah, there you guessed it, more Famicom games. 4 cases, and each case had Famicom games. But a lot of them were, boxed, pretty good condition. Not sure what this is, this Konami game, but at first glance I was thinking that, oh wow, King Kong or something. And then we have Gradius, the first one. Pretty cool cover there, kind of Star Wars like. But then here we go, look at this. The Castlevania Adventure 2. And I definitely love the artwork for this game. And I definitely prefer this art style than the more of the anime looking one. I don't know, this is just more interesting to me. Has a little bit more character. But I do like the other one too. And Wonder Swan and Game Gear. Game Gear I rarely see in the box here. But yeah, and then we have some Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color. And then here we go, Wii U and the Wii. Now, there was this Tatsunoko versus Capcom, which I regret not picking up. Should have got that game. Freaking love this fighting game. And for $12, that's a little bit lower than what I'm used to seeing it at. Normally it's like 18 or 20, so I messed that one up. Then we have Eternal Darkness for $8, and this is a game that I've never played, but I definitely want to play it. But I didn't pick this up just because it could be like a language barrier. Then we have Biohazard Zero, $5. It's $5 wherever you go, and it usually includes the memory card, the 59 block memory card. Then we just have some incomplete games. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Naruto, $1 each. And then here we go, the 64. Now the games there in the baggies are a little bit higher priced. We got Tetris 64, I think that was like $18, wow. And Majora's Mask for $9. They had a few ocarinas, and then we have Paper Mario here for $7. Definitely sun faded that one. $6 for ocarina. They had a bunch of that stuff. And then Super Mario 64, this version actually has all the added stuff that the American version got, like extra voice and I think other controls. And this is the original vanilla version, which lacks a few of those features. But yeah, a decent selection of 64 games, I gotta say. And check this, Smash for $6. Not a bad deal. And then we have Super Nintendo. I think this is Captain Tsubasa. Could be wrong. But then Rockman 7, $8. Should have picked that up. It's another game that I left behind. But Tiny Toon Adventures, love this game, $6. And they had all sorts of good stuff in there. Ranma 1/2. They even actually had an Aladdin in here for like $6. And then Super Mario Kart for $3. No way that's gonna happen back in the States. You can forget about it. And I think this is Yoshi's Island, $3. All those games that are without the baggies were $3. The ones in the baggies kind of varied. But they had a lot of this Ranma 1/2 business. I mean, look at this. They had a bunch of loose, and then they had that one in the complete in the box on the end cap there. And then more Famicom games, as well as Game Boy Advance, DS, and 3DS. But feel free to pause. There's just so many games here. It's just, it's so hard to go through them all. And they were all reasonably priced here in this section. There was a few that were kind of expensive, but nothing that was too out of the ordinary, I guess. And then we have Rockman 03. Now these games dropped hard in price once the Switch got the collection on PS4. Mario Kart Advance for $6, not a bad price. Now these games, I think they were missing the manuals, but still, that's a decent price. Super Mario Bros. For $5, nah, that should be like $1. But yeah, tons and tons of Famicom games. And it was kind of interesting because they had a lot of Goonies. This is the Goonies 2 for $5. I think the case had the first Goonies for $10. And I kind of like these little covers. They kind of remind me of like the old school Peachy folders. And then there's another Goonies for $5. And that's kind of a funny cover. Donkey Kong 3. And then here we go into some PlayStation. Their PS2 selection was kind of, lackluster. Capcom vs. SNK 2. Usually every hard off has one copy. $7. And, I think I picked mine up for like $3 or $4. But yeah, feel free to pause there so you can get a closer look. Alien Syndrome. They had a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 down there as well. Then we have Biohazard 3. Complete with the spine card for $5. That's not a bad price. Resident Evil 3 for $5. Heck yeah. Then we have the Director's Cut for $7, which I actually dig this cover. It's so simple. It has that iconic zombie from the opener. But speaking of covers, this thing is sweet. Look at this. There's so much going on. Totally 90s. I dig it. $18 too. I guess not so bad. But check this out. Final Fantasy VIII, $5. But if you see there on the spine card, the original price, 7,800 yen, so about $78 when that launched. Super expensive. Japan always pays premium for those. And we're complaining about PS5 prices. Come on. And we got the PSP games and PS Vita. Nothing too out of the ordinary there. I think they had a Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus there. I don't actually show it, but it's like $15 or so. And then we have Shenmue 2 on the Sega Dreamcast for $18. And the only other Dreamcast game that I saw was Virtua Striker, which is actually a good arcade sports game. Then we have Blue Seed for $8. And Vampire Hunter for $8, which is a little bit overpriced. Then we have Panzer Dragoon for $14. Pretty sweet game. And then we have Part 2 for $18 with the spine card. I'm one of those guys that has to have the spine card, because sometimes it has interesting information. But check this out. PC Engine games. And these PC Engine games have such awesome covers. I don't have much experience with this system, but I definitely dig it. And then we have a few more games up top. And then we have this one by Renovation, a shooter. Definitely interesting. And checked out this. I totally I feel the 90s when I look at this Sonic CD. That was the only Sega CD game, by the way. And then we have Cobra 2, the space adventure. And then, oh, come on, showing the original Xbox some love. You normally don't see these games. And then what's more is this Prince of Persia is the North American version. It's a long ways from home. And then we have Biohazard, Operation Raccoon City for $1. But anyhow, that was the main game aisle, so let's go ahead and take a look at their most precious wares that are behind the main display case. And nothing really interesting in this little junk bin. But anyhow, let's go ahead and cut to the display case. So here we go. Interesting systems. And then right away, down there below, I'm not sure what this little, let me cut to a closer shot of it, what this little box is. I wonder if it's a super gun. Now there's a few arcade boards in there. I'll put a little marquee because I'm going to investigate. But if that's a super gun, ooh, I definitely want one. Got some Mega Drive minis for 66 bucks. And that cool looking Dreamcast controller for 44, some amiibos. And a PS2. And then kind of tucked away in the back there is this House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return. 50 bucks though. And no matter where I see this little thing, it's kind of expensive. Then we have a Pocket Station in super mint condition. Looks really good. And then this is Super Famicom games. We have Gradius 3 for I think it was 38. Final Fight, not sure what that is. Earthbound, Link to the Past, Super Metroid, and some Parodius games. 50 bucks for that Super Metroid. A little bit higher than, you know, than other places. Usually it's about 40, 45. And then we have another Rockman 7 complete in the box for 25. And a couple Mega Drive games there. But yeah, look at this PSP in the back. Kind of expensive, but man, it looks freaking cool. But that's pretty much the display case. And we're going to go to one more section. We're not going to end things here. There's just one more section that I want to check out. And then we have Garo. And here we go. I definitely like looking at their figures because it just makes for room decor, you know what I mean? Look at this Molder from the X-Files, 11 bucks. And this, I was so tempted to get these little demon things, but you know, $16.50, maybe some other time. Then we have Hercules. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff. They even had like a Xenomorph, which I'll show here in a bit. But anyhow, this pretty much wraps up the video. This is the Kumagaya hard off. I'll leave their address in the description. But yeah, kind of an interesting hard off. But anyhow, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut back to me, and then we'll close the video out. Alright y'all, so that's pretty much the end of the video. If you've stuck around this long, a big thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna continue the In the Hunt retro game hunting series. I definitely think it's fun visiting all these game shops, and I'm gonna introduce a number of challenges. Like, you know, when I go, I'm gonna challenge myself to not spend more than like 10 bucks, because there are a number of goodies to get at these hard offs, especially when you're browsing the junk bins. So look forward to those videos coming soon. Alright, just one quick minute. I totally forgot to mention this while I was filming this section, but I did pick up a number of games at this hard off, and what I'm gonna do is film a separate pickups video, so keep a lookout for that. I'm pretty much just gonna show everything that I picked up for the last few months, so it's gonna be quite a long video. But anyhow, let's get back to the video. And well, thank you for checking out Retro ReWire. My name is JJ. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Ciao. All right, hold on. I forgot to actually film this in this section, but I picked up a number of games.